What's up guys, my name is Ace, and you've probably noticed all over the internet, there's a lot of talk about Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. There's been a lot of leaks to suggest that this is maybe coming in the very near future, as early as April 30th in fact. And while I'm still not 100% convinced that this is the truth, it is very possible that we could be seeing this title. Now, I'm not going to be going over all the detailed leaks and everything to show this because basically everybody else on YouTube is already covering that kind of stuff. I more so just wanted to share my thoughts and opinions on this and whether or not I feel it would work well. The first thing I want to point out here is this is not confirmed. Don't believe any of the clickbaiting people that are telling you this is 100% confirmed at this point, unless this is somehow officially confirmed between the time I'm recording this and the time it goes live. But this isn't confirmed until Activision or one of their developers, it would most likely be Raven at this point, officially states that it's confirmed. Even if you have a really credible looking leak from industry insiders that really know their stuff and they're almost always correct about things, and you even have certain images floating around that look really legitimate and they really support the fact that this game is coming, it's not confirmed until an official source states that it's confirmed. So now that we have that out of the way, let's start getting into my opinion on this. The most current leak that we've seen about this suggests that we could be seeing this on April 30th for only €20. Now this would be a very strange time to launch a Call of Duty game, although a lot of us have been saying it would really make sense if they're doing these remastered games. It would make sense to release them midway through the cycle of the current Call of Duty, because that's when the current Call of Duty often gets stale for a lot of people, and they either move on to other games or they just really slow down their playtime in the current game. So having a remaster come up would really bring people back into the franchise, and that price point also makes sense at this point because Call of Duty now has a lot of competition, most notably Fortnite at this point. If you told me last year at this time that they were going to release a remastered Call of Duty for only €20, I would have thought that was just a ridiculous statement. But now there's a lot of pressure on Call of Duty to bring their player base back to the franchise, and a Modern Warfare 2 Remaster is hitting people with nostalgia, and if you offer it at a very reasonable price like that, it's just a no-brainer. That game would sell like crazy and bring a lot of people back over to the COD franchise, if only just for a short period of time. So while I'm still not 100% convinced that this is going to be the case, it does seem like it could be plausible that we will see this game released April 30th for only €20 or about $25 American. Now if this does happen, if we do get a Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, how will the game actually be received once people get their hands on it and start playing it? I personally think way too many people are looking back at Modern Warfare 2 with rose-tinted glasses. The nostalgia is very strong with that game. I still think back to that game and think that some of my most enjoyable moments in Call of Duty happened in Modern Warfare 2. However, on the other end of that, I think a lot of people are forgetting the fact that it was also one of the most unbalanced and frustrating Call of Duty games ever. The first thing that'll pop into a lot of people's minds, one-man army danger close noob tubes. So an infinite amount of grenade launchers with a massive explosive radius that could be fired quite accurately at a very long distance, and people also know several spots where you can just shoot them from spawn up in the air and have them land on domination flags constantly throughout a match. There's no proper counter to this because danger close was put in as a piece of equipment rather than a perk. You had to actively activate it, and danger close counteracted that anyways, so it's still going to be killing you because they've got an infinite number of these. If you ran into people that were using this setup, the enjoyment of that game is completely gone for everyone else. In addition to this, quickscoping was really strong back in the day, and I realize for the quickscopers out there, they're going to love that, absolutely. But I feel like the tolerance level for quickscopers these days is much lower than it was back in those days. Back in those days, it was like the really cool thing. It was still kind of new and exciting. And I think overall as a community, we've generally moved away from that, and there are a ton of people that won't tolerate strong quickscoping by any means. And the more I think about it, this trend continues for so many of the things back in the day. These days, I feel like the COD community has become a lot more picky with what they want in their Call of Duty game, and in general, I feel like the franchise has improved immensely since those days, and as soon as people get back into that game, yeah, they might have some fun moments and stuff, but I think they are going to get burnt out relatively quickly when they realize all the issues that that game had. Now, don't get me wrong, if they launch this on April 30th, I'm going to be right on top of that. I'll be getting it immediately, I'm going to play the crap out of it, I'll probably make several videos on it, and I'm sure I will have a blast in some matches. Having said that, I don't know how long that excitement and hype is going to last for me once we actually get into this game, unless they make gameplay related changes for multiplayer. Now, I feel like this is where we're going to see a split in the community. There's going to be one side that wants everything to be exactly the same way it was, as far as balancing goes at least. They want it to be exactly the same way as it was back in the day. On the other end of that though, there's going to be a lot of people that would like to see some gameplay related changes to reduce a lot of the frustration within the game. I personally feel that just a few changes need to be made if they want to maintain a decent player base going up into Black Ops 4. I wouldn't want them to completely rework weapon balancing by any means, because I want that same feel of the weapons from back in the day. That really contributes to the nostalgia. However, something like one-man army danger close noob tubes, this would need to be fixed in my mind. I don't know exactly how they'd handle it. Maybe just make it so if you select one-man army, you can't select a grenade launcher, or just something along those lines. I feel like that would be a bare minimum change that would need to be made to multiplayer to make people stick around in that game. Of course, this is just my opinion though. I'd like to know in the comment section below. First off, do you feel that this is going to be happening? Do you think we're going to see a Modern Warfare 2 Remastered as early as April 30th this year? And second, assuming they do make a Modern Warfare 2 Remaster, would you like to see any changes made to the multiplayer gameplay? And if so, which specific changes would you like to see made? If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.